My name's Andrew Steele. I'm a 400 metre runner for Great Britain. I competed in the Olympic Games in Beijing in 2008. I'm 28 years old now. I've been an elite athlete for over 10 years and been a runner in some form or shape almost all my life. Well, I was sent a testing kit through my strength and conditioning coach. And I thought, well, this could be very interesting. We just did a little swab in the cheek, sent off the sample. And when the results came back, it was really very interesting for me. You know, we use a lot of different tests in elite sport. We try and measure every part of our body, but this was a real new world for me as a new understanding of what my genetic potential is. Well, being an elite athlete, we've been sent tests a lot over the years, and lots of people trying to sell us new products and new tests. But when I got sent the DNA test, I thought, well, out of interest, let me see this, because it might give me a little bit of an understanding about what I am as an athlete, where my potential lies. And when I got the results, I was really very impressed and very surprised as to how much it defined what I thought I'd learned through trial and error over such a long time. You know, we take years to find out how to train best, how to reach our best potential in athletics. And this product the test just sort of told me and confirmed to me what my suspicions were about how best I could train, what my personal potential is, and how best to use that to get the best results in the future. On the results of the test, it showed me, first and foremost, what percentage of my genetic potential lies towards a power-based events or endurance-based events. So I had a suspicion in my mind about what I might be, and this almost confirmed it to the point. Like I had a result of around 62% endurance potential and 38% power potential. And this was really fascinating. As a 400 metre runner, we need both worlds. We need power ability, we also need endurance ability. And so for me, that was ideal. And it told me that in the future, this is what I need to play to my strengths as well as just work on my weaknesses. So as well as just identifying my potential for endurance or power, the test really interestingly, especially for elite sport, this was a real key to us, was the test told me what my injury risk profile would be. So how prone to certain injuries I might be, how much I need to protect myself against others, and then also what my recovery needs were. So in elite sport, we're constantly trying to manage recovery because we want to train as hard as we can, but we also need to recover to let our bodies adapt to the training. And so this just helped me identify times when I might need to hold back from training, times when I can afford to push on. Well, for the everyday person, I've got a feeling that this test can be so useful in identifying how best to get fit, how best to lose weight, how best to exercise and enjoy it. That's the key for me, because when you do something which you're not made for, all my life I was told to lift heavy weights in the gym as a sprinter and so on, but I'm awful at it. I'm terrible at it as an elite athlete, and I really didn't enjoy it. And this showed to me, well, as I've got an endurance potential as an athlete, then that's what my strength is. So I need to do the weights, I need to lift weights, but I'm never going to be the very best in the world at that. And so for someone in their everyday life trying to get fit, trying to lose weight, and trying to just have a regular exercise regime, the test will help them identify, you know, where their potential lies, how best to train, how most efficiently to get the results they want. The test is so easy to use. When I received the kit in the post, it was literally just a couple of swabs you take inside your cheek and send them back in the post. And before long, the test results arrive with a full report, an exercise guide, and then you can just move on, use those results, really easy to interpret, tell you what genes you've got and what the response to those genes, how you should use these results to help you exercise better. So looking ahead, I'm hoping to use the results of this DNA fit test to help me best guide my training forward for next year, which is 2014, the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow and the European Championships in Zurich in athletics. And so when I can look back at my career, I see the best years in my career were 2007 and 2008 for the Beijing Olympic Games. And I can identify in my mind the best training for me. After the Beijing Olympic Games, I had a few years where I was very ill. I got glandular fever, and as a result, I decided to change my training to do a little bit less of the hard endurance work and more of the sprint stuff. And in retrospect, it didn't work for me. I didn't reach my best in those years. And this test almost confirms to me. So I can use the knowledge gained from this test to, one, know how to gear my training best towards my potential, which is slightly more leaning towards endurance. And then two, to stop myself getting injured. I've had a lot of injuries in my career, and to help myself best recover. So if I can use what my body's got for me, what my genetic potential is, added on top of all the knowledge I've built up as an elite sportsman over the years, then I just think this gives me a really exciting opportunity to get my best performance in 2014. In elite sport, we know for coaching, there's a science to coaching, there's also an art to coaching. Now, the science is taken care of by, in UK athletics, we're taken care of by physiologists and physiotherapists and doctors, and then the art is often taken care of by your individual coach who knows what works for you, what you like to do. Now, as a youngster coming into sport, you could use a DNA fit test and you might think, oh, well, I've only got endurance potential, therefore I can't do the sport that I want to do. But that's not the point of this test. It just helps identify how best to train for your given goal. So you can use the science to help with the art. There's been a lot of talk recently about the use of drugs in sport and people illegally getting ahead, using that to gain the extra edge. DNA testing for me is a safe and legal way for anyone, no matter what their level, to get ahead and gain those extra advantages. There was an award-winning book published recently by a journalist called David Epstein, published in the UK and the US, called The Sports Gene, which is about how genetics help people achieve excellence in sport. There's a common theory known as the 10,000 hour rule, which was based that if you practice deliberately one thing for 10,000 hours over your lifetime, you will become elite or an expert in that field. Now, what genetics is now showing us, especially shown as in this book in The Sports Gene, that you can lessen the time that it takes to reach the excellency in your given field using genetic potential. I'm really excited to reveal my genetic profile, my DNA profile to the world, hopefully as one of the first athletes to do so people can compare themselves with what makes me an athlete. And I've always been confused as to how I reached the level I did and what it is about me which makes me an elite athlete. And so people that want to get fit or want to get into athletics, into sprinting, they can compare their goals against what my genetic profile is to get the best results for them. So when I got my test results, I saw, and I probably suspected this, that I had a predisposition to tendon injuries. Looking back at it, in 2012, in Olympic year, I tore my Achilles tendon. And as a result, I had to put in new exercises into my program to prevent further injury. Had I known my test result before, my predisposition to these injuries, I might have prevented this by having those exercises as part of my program already. So as anyone aspiring to be a runner or just to get fit, this might tell you what you have to do to allow yourself to stay healthy and not get injured so you can keep doing the exercise that you want to do.